On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you about the game one loss?
Frank is fired up, as you could hear.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. I'll start. I think I'm like a 2. I'm like, it's annoying. Don't get me wrong. I was mad last night with the way that game ended. I was mad, but like concerned about the series overall. Not really. I mean, the Oilers had some mistakes, obviously some glaring issues in their own zone. They looked incredibly nervous to me. They looked like they had the jitters going for the first game of the playoffs. The atmosphere at Rogers Place was electric. It was bumping. I know that those of you that were there, we're going to talk about that, but I just think they looked nervous. And ultimately, it came down to a horrible mistake by Mike Smith. He was trying to be the hero instead of making a clean play to an outlet. But I'm not worried about it, really. So I'm going to say my answer is 2.
I think that's a fair answer. I would go a little bit higher than that. I think I'm at a 4, but I even debated not going that high. Like, you never want to lose on home ice. Like, it's not good to lose home ice advantage after game 1 in the series, right? Not ideal. Everyone understands that. But at the same time, I don't think any of us picked the Oilers in 4, right? No one was like, oh yeah, we're just going to steamroll them and sweep them. Like, you were going to lose games in the series, and they lost a game last night where they made some very clear-cut mistakes. Smith made a big one. Chris Russell made a fairly big one, not, rimming the puck around to no one pretty much. There was a handful of moments where they were trying to break out of their own zone and they just looked like they couldn't do it and they were making sloppy decisions with the puck. We know exactly what went wrong in that game, and they lost by 1 goal. If they clean it up a little bit and start to push it a little bit more offensively, I'd say, I don't think they'll have much of an issue winning 4 of the next 6 here. So my concern is 4, because you never want to lose in a best of 7 on home ice to open the series and lose that momentum right away, right out of the gates. But at the same time, I still think they're fully capable of winning this series.
Just to qualify my number of 2, like, we're talking about game 1 of a 7-game series, right? So like, yeah, you don't want to lose game 1, but there's a long road to go here. If the boys don't bounce back tomorrow, which is Wednesday, game 2, then my answer escalates quickly. But right now, like, hey, it's game 1. It sucks. Yes, I agree. But like you said, 1 goal loss, some mistakes that can be cleaned up. I think they're going to bounce back. It's not like they got absolutely lit up like Tampa Bay did by Toronto. It was mistakes led to a loss, and you clean those up, they'll be fine. Dan?
Yeah, I think I would argue if you're anything over a 4 right now, you're probably not a long-term Oilers fan, or you probably haven't been an Oilers fan for too long. I can't remember the last time we won our first game. I know the stat was put out there last night, but in 2006 we lost game 1. In 2017 I was there when we lost to the Sharks.
I was too.
Of course, we lost to the Jets and the Blackhawks as well. So I mean, when I went into it, when I showed up to the party, I was actually talking to the Stepankos, and I said I kind of have a bad feeling about tonight, but I'm okay with it, whether it happens or not, because like you said, Baggedmilk, as soon as the crowd got into it, you could just see that the players were trying a little bit harder than they maybe should have been. And we saw it with Mike Smith personified, that the guys were just a little bit tighter on the sticks than they would want to be. And the nice thing is that Jay Woodcroft is the kind of guy that I would trust to be able to make the adjustments that they need to for game 2. So yeah, no, I'm not. I would say I'm at a 1 right now, honestly.
Rick, I'm guessing where you're going to go. Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. It's a 7-game series. It sucks. I was angry last night. Not too happy about it right now, but at the same time, I realize that you're not going to win in 4 straight. So it is what it is. This team, we've seen them lose and bounce back in a really good way. I fully expected. The place is loud last night. I can see why the guys were gripping the sticks a little bit tight. And yeah, you just got to simplify the game a little bit. Keep it simple in the playoffs.
I do. Sorry, I was just going to say, Baggedmilk, I do wonder if you played back our episode from the last 2 playoff rounds, and we asked something similar of this kind of question, if our answers would be similar or not. I know the fans, I think, is the element that we're missing from the previous explanations. But anyways, I was just laughing.
I think probably like last year, if you asked me after game 1 when they lost to Winnipeg, I probably would have said the same thing. But like I said, depending on what happens tomorrow, game 2, then my number can swing wildly either way. So like if they come out and lay the boots to the Kings in game 2, then all of a sudden my 2's down to 1. You know what I mean? It's
they lost the first 2 against San Jose back in 2006 too. It sucks, but you got to lose 4 before the series is over. So even if they lose tomorrow, obviously you're not going to feel great about it, but doesn't mean anything. The series is over.